Hello friends, you have joined me today doing something that is very, very important, and that is spending time by myself walking through nature. It makes me feel connected to something bigger than myself in a very real way. I guess I feel like I belong in nature more than I do in an office or built up town or a city. I just feel more right and more me. And now the science has caught up and has been able to show that it's very important for our mental health, our emotional well-being, and it is a deep source of meaning for us. And I'm going to go through 3 studies which really describe that and show it off. The only group that showed a significant increase in their self-perception of their own mental health was the walking in nature group. Even though they had both done the same amount of physical exercise, it was only those who had been in nature who had a benefit to their mental health. The study found that all participants received a benefit to their mental and emotional well-being. Every single activity, including canal boating and conservation, showed improvements in self-esteem, less anger, not more anger, less depression and less anxiety. And the next study that I want to talk about is my favourite of them all. Followed 2 groups of women who were undertaking wilderness retreats in North America. There was quite a raft of qualitative findings from this study, but I want to just cover 3 of my favourite, and that is that the woman's time in nature was important and significant to them because of the non-competitive atmosphere, number 1, being in touch with the wild, number 2, and finding periods of solitude, all of which strike a chord with me. The researchers described, when they were summing up the woman's experience of being in the wild, said that being in touch with nature was spiritually inspiration and facilitated self-contemplation and self-reflection. Now, notice the words self-contemplation and self-reflection, not self-analysis and self-criticism. The type of reflection that I find we often engage in our day-to-day lives is not always calm and kind. Quite a lot of it is, why aren't I doing better? Why is she doing better than me? Why is he doing better than me? It's comparative a lot with other people. And it's about the more superficial stuff in life and the more superficial aspects of ourselves. Self-contemplation and self-reflection is the opposite of this, I feel, and I feel that in nature too. When I get into nature, and it sounds like this was the experience of these women as well, there's a serenity and a realness, a groundedness. It's hard to find the right words because it's a feeling that allows you to see yourself for who you really are, I think. Mostly the good portions of yourself, but also sometimes, when you're out here, you reflect on how you have acted that maybe isn't the way you wanted to have acted. But it's not in a it's not in an oh, that's not very good light, is it? It's not in an unproductive, self-bashing way that often doesn't lead to self-improvement. It's in a kind of way that allows you to acknowledge what has been, but also gain the motivation and some pathways for how you want to be in the future.